Hello everybody, welcome to Tech Thursday. My name's Ken Smith, and today, as typical, we're going to talk about innovation. But as innovation, usually to most people, is going to mean current and emerging technologies or future technologies. But I want to back up just a little bit and talk about something that is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and easier to access, which is just bandwidth. The problem with that, though, is for those of us that actually go to events or we have exhibited events, we find out that that is one of the most expensive portions of running a show or being a part of it or having an exhibit. And why is that? You could get as much bandwidth as you want, an entire gig for $600 a month, or you can go to one of these shows and spend $600 an hour for a tenth of the amount. So what I want to do is back up and talk about an old technology, solving some of those new solutions. We have found that if you do a hotspot, for example, those will offer you up to about 6 megabit of bandwidth. Well, you don't think like that's very much, but in most cases you need between 3 and 4 megabit to stream high definition video. So they are very, very affordable in order to be able to provide the kind of throughput you need. And to put that into context and into cost, you can buy a hotspot and you can pay for an entire year's worth of service for that for around $1,000 total. Or you can go to an event and buy 2 megabit of bandwidth in some cases and spend $2,500 just for that one day at the event. So if you're worried about which network to use, do both. We've got hotspots that we use for AT&T, for Verizon, all the big carriers that provide these hotspots. The cost is about the same. So you can have 2 hotspots and a year's worth of service for the same cost as a one-day show doing a small exhibit in some cases. So when we think about technology and we think about innovation, don't be afraid to think outside of the box for old tech and how it can also solve a lot of current problems that you're running into when it comes to cost. Cell phones are also a good option for that. You don't think so? You think, oh, my bill's going to go way up. I promise you it's going to be a whole lot cheaper using your cell phone as a hotspot, at the very least as a backup, as we have found. Although a lot of these big conventions offer a high amount of bandwidth, in some cases it's just not reliable enough. Or you're sharing that network and you worry about security and whether or not you're going to have a really clean show and a really clean demo in those cases. So don't be afraid to use your own personal hotspot. Get hotspots specifically for that purpose. You'd be surprised how much money you can save and how much better your service can actually be.